Rainwater, how to filter rainwater, and also how to find rainwater. I don't know how many of y'all were here last year, so this is the same area. I remember you most definitely. Unseen. I'm talking about the unseen. So first, last year it was, I think we went over 2 hours. Because there was about 30 people over here. And everybody had a lot of questions, so I kind of got to go a little bit faster this time, unfortunately. So, but I'm still gonna try and get every question answered. So if y'all get any questions while I'm going through it, just let me know, and so I don't forget where I'm at. So this workshop is real practical. It's not meant to take a lot of funds, take a lot of money. It's meant for really like a disaster type situation. You know, just I looked this morning. They have a boil water advisory for the city of Fayetteville. So filter is kind of where that come into play, you know. For some people that don't have Berkey, anybody familiar with the Berkey filter?
Yes, what's that? The Berkey filter. Oh no.
So it's like this, but in a more miniature size and about $500.
Yep.
They used to be about $250, about 3 or 4 years ago, you know, but now they're like $500. So basically, it's like, you know, your grandmother, she had them big cooking pots, and it's 2 filters inside that has charcoal in it. Not the charcoal that you barbecue with, but a different type of charcoal. So one of these has charcoal in it, which is this. This costs about $15 to $20. So this is what they're selling you for $300. 2 cooking pots, 1 pot that has 2 filters in it, which has this in it for $25. Then they have another pot on the bottom that collects the water that's being filtered through the charcoal. So,
where did you get that? The carbon?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you for asking. So, this came from a pet store, like Pet Mart. It's called active carbon, active charcoal. Depending on who you're talking to, they'll use different names. Y'all can pass it around.
That filters the water. The
Yes, ma'am.
Water.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and like I said, so this workshop is meant to be low cost. You know, not a lot of thinking really needed to make this. You know, this process is going to simulate how the earth purifies water or filters water. You know, if you go to a stream or you go to a well, if you think about it, when you get that well water, the water that's, when it rains, is going through rock, clay, it's going through all these different sediments that's filtering that water out and purifying the water also. So, like I said, this is only for disaster. So simply, I took this gutter down. Everybody got a gutter on their house. Yeah. Or if it's a disaster, like we saw, you see tornadoes and stuff, you can easily find a gutter. I took this gutter off. It may be easier for you to use the gutter, it may not be easier for you to use the gutter, depending on how long it is. So this was right here. I simply took it off. I walked around the property and found this on the ground. This is the irrigation line that they put in the ground. So now, anybody can find it don't gotta be one this big, it could be a bucket, simple as a 5-gallon bucket. So when it rains, the water's being collected. Now, some people may say, well, is it still safe to drink? Well, if you filter it, then if you boil it, you should have a little bit more sense of safety, you know. And also too, if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, they have free water test kits. You don't have to buy them anymore. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, they sell free water test kits. That same Berkey filter I was talking about, the same carbon charcoal that's inside of this. So if you look on the front of this, so okay, so I went and got this lake water right here. It's kind of brown, you know, and it got a smell to it. Now what this charcoal does, it eliminates, it sucks that smell out. So this is the same. Some of y'all may have a fish tank or grew up with a fish tank. Well, you have, this is the same. This is come out of pet store, so this is in the fish aisle. So to keep the smell out, that algae smell and the old water smell, this is what the water is filtered through. Charcoal.
How much of that do you need to put per that? Like a teaspoon of that per gallon, or what?
Okay. It depends on how large your filtration system is. So this is only a 2 quart right here. So I feel comfortable having it filled all the way up. Now the little Berkey filters, the filter is about the size of, can you see my home here? Berkey filter is maybe about the half the size of this, and it just has this little amount of charcoal in it. So about the half the size of this, and it has this charcoal in it. That's all that's in it. Two of your grandmother pots. Huh?
The whole container?
No, not even a whole container. Maybe like quarter of the container is gonna fill the half of that jug up. But I'm only saying that to say it all depends on the size of filtration that you have, the size of water purification filtration that you have. Now, if your let me answer it this way. If your filter is that size, then yeah, you can only fit so much in there. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So
I just I'm lost as far as once you catch the water right there. Then what happens with that?
Oh, I'm gonna get to the process. I'm gonna get to that.
Because you were talking about that, but I don't know how that relates to that catching the water.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. Okay. Anybody have any questions so far?
Just one.
Yeah.
The Berkey filter, though, I know this is emergency disaster, but doesn't the Berkey filter take fluoride out of the water? Because I felt like that was the good one.
Yeah.
But that's, we're not talking about emergency, we're just talking about everything.
Oh, but yeah, it's still a valid point. It's still a valid point. They're bringing some more chairs. So everybody don't understand though. Yes, ma'am.
Buckets should be made out of what?
Oh, so look. So she asked, that's a good question. So she asked, which is the material made of, the bucket material should be made out of. You know, perfect world, food grade material. But in a disaster, you know, now if you're going to pre-make this, then definitely get the food grade one, you know. But like I said, in a disaster, you might not be able to find a food grade one. You're going to have to use what you can use. Oh, yes ma'am. So yes ma'am, this is a food grade one. Now I was talking to a brother yesterday. If you go to a regular store, you're almost going to pay about $100 for one of these. If you go on Craigslist, you can find one for $15 that they use. Like I have about 10 of them on the side of my house. I have about 500 gallons. I have them all piped together and everything. But had I just bought the barrels from a store, I would have paid almost $1,000. I got each one for $15. And all I did was store it and was coffee. I just took them home and rinsed them out. And so I have one that I use specifically for feeding my chickens, you know. And like I said, I use the other one. My other 10 that I have connected together, I use to water my garden. So,
did you
like
put
I said,
a hole in there for the gutter up there at the top? How did you do that?
So there's already a pre-made hole. This was already attached right here.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. I just simply took it down.
Okay.
See, because if I would have left it up there,
yeah, it'll come out of there. Yeah. Okay.
And I would have had to have my bucket on the ground.
Okay, so you just covered the pre-existing hole.
Pre-existing hole.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. If y'all wanna kind of come around a little bit, he bringing some more chairs. So, any more questions before I move on? So for the people who just got here, so basically, let me kind of run back through it real quick. So this workshop is meant to be low cost, not a lot of money. You know, all it takes is a few tools and a little know-how. You know, looking on the internet, looking on Google. So basically right here, we have a process of collecting rainwater. Then for some of y'all who want to filter it even more, we have a system right here that simulates how the water is purified or filtered going down into the ground. Some of y'all may have land that have wells on them. Well, the process right here is going through the same process. It's going through rock, it's going through sand, it's going through dirt to filter that water out. So this process right here is a small down version of how the earth does it naturally. Okay.
I have a question. How do you get the water once that's filled up out of there?
How do you get it out here? It's buckets.
Oh, you dip it? You don't put the thing, like the little, that thing there, the water, that.
Not yet. Not yet. Okay. He's bringing some more chairs right here. You got any water? You have any water?
In the car.
Okay. You kind of got to turn your light too.
Where you going?
I'm just giving him a little time so they can sit down. Okay, so everybody understand the process. This is, like I said, this is meant to be low cost, not a lot of money. This is for a disaster. This is not just to be pretty or anything like that. I said this morning, I looked on Google The recent boil water advisory, they got one in Fayetteville, which is an hour away. Now, last year in Mississippi, they had to bring water in because of so much water flooded the station, the water purification station, that it cut it down. It shut it down. So, like I said, this process is only meant for collecting water in a time of emergency. That's it. It's not meant to be pretty. It's not meant to be elaborate. It's not meant to take a lot of money, spend thousands of dollars, have somebody come out and design this and design that. You know, it's only meant for disaster. I went and found this on the property. This gutter, it was right here attached. I simply took it off because it was too long. If I would have kept it up there, I can now put my water into the barrel. So that's simply what I did. It's not a lot of going to Home Depot buying this, you know, buying that, trying to figure out what's what. Because look, I know I got grandmothers, aunts, uncles who really can't lift a lot. You know, in a time of disaster, they're trying to find clothes, trying to find food. So this is only meant for disaster situation. So one of the things I was telling the people that this activated charcoal, I don't know how many people got Berkey filters out here or who know about Berkey filters. It's roughly about $500. Yeah, and it's basically 2 pots. Your grandma's old cooking pots, the big cooking pots. 2 pots, 1 pot to pour the dirty water in, another pot to collect the water that's being filtered out. And what's inside the filter is this right here. Activated charcoal. That's it. And it's roughly $500. And it's not even, the filters are, like I said, they're, you mind holding it up? I'm just showing it one more time. The filter is about half of this size. They charge you $500 for this 2 pots your grandmother got. You know, then when you got to buy when you have to buy the filters, you know, because you got to replace them, it's like $100. You know, but I mean, you can get it. They'll last like a year, I believe, or so, depending on the usage. All right, so anybody got any questions before I move on? I know last year I went like almost 2 hours because there's like 30 people over here, maybe a little bit more. So I kind of got to talk a little bit faster than I did last year. So, no questions so far? Did I lose anybody?
Is that charcoal in something? I mean, you put it in something or just that?
Okay, so she asked if this is in something. So I got it in one of the containers right here. Now, the charcoal is not the actual coal that you use to barbecue with. That has a lot of tar, a lot of chemicals. And when we cook with it, it releases chemicals into the food that we're eating also. So, one simple process to make the charcoal, you can buy what's called hardwood. It's actual oak wood or whatever type of species of wood that's been dried and it's charred now. So you have to crush that up. So simply, that's all this is right here. So let me say it again. Don't be confused because it says charcoal on the front. It's not the charcoal that you cook with that's made out of coal. You know, they go down in earth and they mine that coal out. That's not the same type of charcoal I'm talking about. I'm talking about charred wood. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, it's called hardwood. Hardwood is simply wood that's been, the oxygen that has been taken out of it, and it turns black and it becomes more like carbon. So on the front of this, you see it says carbon. So if y'all want to learn more about that, because I can't do that process right here, just look up activated charcoal making on YouTube. Just look up activated charcoal making on YouTube. It's a pretty lengthy process I did yesterday. So to clean this, it was almost about 5 hours. See, because I bought it. I bought this, but in the process of making it, it still has a lot of dust that's left over. So you have to clean it. So yeah, you can go on YouTube to find out. Yeah. So cleaning house, I'll make it simple. Short. So cleaning house, same way you washing your dishes. You want to empty that charcoal, like when you buy this container, you would just want to empty it out in the pot, you know, that's full of water, and just kind of go like this with it, you know, to where it's kind of like rubbing up against itself. So once you do that, maybe I'll just say about 5 times. Now you want to take some hot boiling water, pour it in there. What's going to happen is it's going to open the pores up on that wood. This is wood. This is not a chemical that's been made. So when I say open the pores, it's wood that the oxygen has been taken out of. And it's at the molecule base, it's called carbon. So when you put the hot water on it, it opens those pores up and it does even more cleaning. So I did all that. there's another way you can do it too, but I'm just trying to keep it simple because I only got an hour and a half to go. And we ain't even got to the real meat of this thing, you know. Did I lose anybody? Are we still on place? Okay. So these buckets each have a part of the earth in it. Y'all may have a well on your land, or you may have a lake on your land. Well, the same process that the well water goes through when it comes up, it's like super clear and it's real light tasting. The water is real light, it's not a dirty tasting. It's going through the same process. So we got pebbles in this first one, a lot of rocks right out here. It's got pebbles in this one. So I'm gonna leave the top over so I can come and see it. I got sand in this one, just regular sand. Not the sand, not that red dirt. It's more like beach sand right here, or the type of sand that you use to clean your pool. Next one I just talked about was the charcoal. That's what I got in this last one. And then I just made a little for the water hose. Just drill the hole in and glue it in. So like I was saying, y'all grandmothers got them big old pots. Well, that bottom pot, this will be the pot that's the filtered water is going to go into. All right. Can I get maybe one volunteer? Can you come help me real quick, right? Okay. So. So the carbon is going to be the last process that the water is going to be filtered through. So it's going to sit on the very bottom. Got the sand right here. Next process is going to filter through. Now we got the pebbles. First process. So this process is the same the way nature does it. Best way. I don't know if y'all can see it from that side, but I got a label on here. So the lake. Everybody saw that lake down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Let's see. Okay, so this is just water I got from the lake. Right down there. I'm gonna pour this in there. Can everybody see? Actually, hold up. Let me stir this up because there's a lot of dirt in the bottom. It's going to be even more dirty. Let me get it.
Stir it up.
Huh?
Stir it up, huh?
Yeah, to make it more dirty.
Okay.
Now it's even more dark.
Yeah, wow.
Some dirty water, huh?
Yeah.
It didn't look like that when before you started. Yeah.
No, it looked like before I started. That's why I started up. So, yeah,
I
go
have a
ahead.
quick question. Does borehole water still need to be filtered like that?
What is it, Katie?
You know when you drill a borehole down to get the groundwater, does that water still need to be filtered for drinking or cooking purposes?
So that all depends on you. Most people that have a well, they don't boil their water.
Right.
Drink it right out of the earth. You can go right around to different parts of South Carolina, different parts of Georgia. They got a spring. They got a tap. It just comes out. People just locally come and get it right out there. Take it back home. And they drink it right there. So that's on you. You know. Any questions so far?
How long that process right there?
Okay. So she asked how long this takes. So depending on how often you use your filter, or how can I say, there's a break-in process basically. So I made this yesterday, just simply to be able to show you all. The one I have is 10 hours away. So I can bring it, so I made this one yesterday. Okay, so I'll answer that once we open the top up and we'll see how dirty it is. Okay. So once we see how dirty it is, I'm gonna ask you, once we see how dirty it is, then we'll run it back through.
Okay.
What kind
But typically, if you're using this often, you only got to go through one pass. But since it's just This is the first time this had dirty water in it, so we're gonna see. What you gonna say?
What kind of cloth do you use?
Oh, good question.
That was my same question.
Okay. All this is a bed sheet.
All right.
Not a bed sheet. I'm sorry. Pillowcase. That's why I said this is only meant for a disaster. Now, if you all want to make something immaculate or buy something immaculate, you can. But this is only meant for a time of disaster. It's not meant to, you know, be something pretty, pink, you know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's only meant for a time of disaster. So that's why I say we got the. It's not pretty, you know, but it's gonna save lives. That's what you know. That's what it
That's what I want.
really does. End goal.
Okay.
Any questions so far?
Can I get a picture of the charcoal?
Yeah, here. So if I want, she can pass it around after she get it. So that charcoal that came from a fish store. I mean, pet store. That charcoal is the same thing that they use to filter the water that's in a fish tank. That's it.
Well, I want to do this for
Anybody
my
else?
plants, my garden, and the containers. Do you have to filter it if you're catching the rainwater?
No,
I just use
put
it
that right on
straight?
there. No, if you collect the rainwater,
Not for
put it.
drinking, right. So for for the plants, I can just
Wanna get down?
Yeah.
It's auntie. Go to auntie.
probably
And then,
better.
and so she asked, can she use the water that she collects
Auntie?
right on her garden? Yeah, you can. Now, this is just me now. At the time of disaster, if I collect the rainwater, I'm not gonna try and filter it.
Right.
Because it's probably gonna be like 5 or 6 hours I had drunk the water because I'm trying to find it. You know, so unless you got bottled water somewhere, you know, or if you do have bottled water, a tornado came, it's gonna fling it over here.
Right.
So if my grandmother need water, I'm not gonna. If I collect the rainwater, I'm not gonna try and filter it. She's gonna need it right away.
You would boil it then?
No, if I collect rainwater coming out, no, she's gonna drink it right away. Now, maybe like 3 or 4 days. Maybe like 3 or 4 days, I would boil it because then I would have other men that's doing other things. Some men may be hunting for food. We're gonna feed the community like this, right? Like I said, this is just time of disaster. So people that need water, like right away, you know, they have medical needs. I'm not gonna, if I collect rainwater, no, they're gonna drink it right away. You know, and it's almost 99% that it's not gonna be any contaminants in it. You know, so any other questions before I keep moving? So right now it's draining through. So let's see. Yeah, it's taking a while right now. I mean, it's barely. No, quite a bit of it went through.
So the sheet is over top of the pebble?
Okay, you want to come?
And another question for the rainwater, does it go bad just sitting there out in the you know? So
Well, so it depends on how you. It depends. She asked if you're collecting the rainwater, does it go bad? It will go bad if you have it stored for a long time and you're not recycling, you're not using it. You have to keep using it. Because if it's just sitting, it's gonna collect. So if it's not, even though this is blue, even though this container is blue, light can still penetrate inside. So you have to have the container that's completely black. If it's not, or if it's not in somewhere like this. That's only if you're not utilizing it. Because what's gonna happen, algae is gonna start building up in it. So if light can get through it, yeah, it's gonna go bad.